The bosses of Britain's biggest banks have been summoned to a meeting with the Chancellor and the Business Secretary next week to discuss bonuses. Today, the Deputy Prime Minister talked tough, saying the banks couldn't be allowed to get away scot-free while millions of people are making sacrifices in their living standards. But as our Chief Economics Correspondent Hugh Pym reports, will Mr Clegg's words be backed up by action?
Christmas comes to the financial markets, but if they're getting a card from the Deputy Prime Minister, this is his official missive, there won't be any seasonal cheer. The banks should not be under any illusion this government cannot stand idly by, was Mr Clegg's message on bonuses in an interview with the Financial Times. And David Cameron's Christmas card, also released today, might be in similar vein. Here's what he had to say about the banks.
The banks have got to understand that there's a political debate and a political context to all of this, which is, we have had to bail out the banks, we've had to use taxpayers' money in a difficult economic situation, and I do believe in social responsibility.
But the Chancellor, on a visit to New York, has adopted a more low-key approach. He's called British bank chiefs in for a meeting next week. Leading London bankers have been having their own discussions about a package to take the sting out of the bonus debate. So could there be a Christmas truce between the government and the banking industry? Ideally, both sides would like some sort of voluntary arrangement. The banks would agree to lend more to small businesses and to show restraint on bonuses. Ministers would agree to refrain from any banker-bashing legislation which went further than other countries. It seems that's possible, but unlikely before the new year. Banks have already been hit with new regulations. There's a bank levy set to raise £2.5 billion per year. Bonus curbs are set to be introduced in the new year, and there's a new tax code of practice for banks to pay their fair share. Any more than that, and so the financial markets argue, the UK becomes a less attractive place to do business. The danger is banks might move out of London.
The problem for the government and for the banks is that actually they're having to operate in a global banking market, and they have to conform to what that market requires, or we're likely to lose both jobs and tax revenues.
But with Lloyds revealing its losses from loans in Ireland would be higher than expected, critics might argue that banks should sort out previous mistakes before considering bonus payments. So bankers might be wishing each other a happy Christmas, but the way the political winds are blowing, it might not be such a happy new year. Hugh Pym, BBC News.